What's going on, everyone? ODC here, and I'm back with another action figure review. Today's review, we're going to take a look at the Mythic Legion's Advent of Decay Queen Urkzaa. This is another really cool-looking figure. She does share some similarities with some other body parts, but we'll get to that down the road. I just kind of want to talk about her backstory. That's actually a pretty interesting backstory. She rose to power as the queen of the orcs, and basically what happened was she aligned herself with Gorgo Aetherblade, seeing as that it was the best decision for her people. She's a woman of the people, a ruler of the people, and she's looking out for her fellow orc. So she aligned with Gorgo, and then Gorgo kind of took Urkzaa under his wing, and he kind of rose to power as their big orc-like war leader. He was released in Wave 1, I believe. He had the face paint, the white face paint. I actually have Urkzaa, but he's a pretty cool-looking figure. But it's pretty cool, the backstory here is as he is rising into power. Her power grasp is kind of diminishing, and what's happening now is it's kind of severing ties down the middle as far as almost starting a civil war between the orcs. There's obviously followers of Queen Urkzaa, and there's going to be followers of Urkzaa. So pretty interesting little synopsis right there. Just kind of wanted to talk about the backstory. I thought that was pretty interesting that, and it actually lays a subplot to the main plot, which is, the basic good guy versus bad guy. And now you've got your kind of Game of Thrones inner battles within factions. So, and that's obviously going to happen with a lot of the villains. Villains are going to go out of their way to kind of put their own namesake in there so they can rise to the top. She's kind of worried and kind of looking out for her people, where maybe Urkzaa is not looking out for the people, and he's looking out for his own best interest. So you've kind of got a warlord versus a your typical queen, and the queen's got to look out for her people. And I kind of dig that about her. I like that about her. She does come with some decent accessories here, and I think everything fits as far as the choice of weaponry for her, and I think she's got a beautiful skin tone here. It's a very nice green skin tone, but it's actually got some black paint shading going throughout, so it kind of differentiates going throughout the arms here, and the chest, and the other arm here, and even on the torso. There's some, as you can see, there's a lot of really good paint detail going throughout to give this some definition and really bring out all of the sculpt in this body. Even though it is, pretty much almost like a half-naked body, and kind of simple when it comes to that, the black paint shading does really help. And here is the back of the figure. Looks really cool. We got some cheekage right there, We do have some bare feet, which is I want to say a rarity with some Mythic Legions. Now, I've said this in the past, especially when it comes to bare feet. I would like to see, maybe down the line, a monk, some sort of Asian-themed warriors down the line. I kind of have her belt going across her torso in not a very believable fashion here, in a bandolier-style fashion there. I think it looks pretty good like that. We've seen this style body. I think she's the most nude out of anyone, or at least as close to nude as you're going to get. I think it fits the dynamic of her being a female orc. This is not the only female orc that we've received in this wave. We have received the Legion Builder female orc, which I think is beautifully done. And we've also received even a different style orc. It's in the Legion Builder form under the Barbarian, I believe it's the Barbarian Legion Builder, female Legion Builder, excuse me. Actually, she does come with an extra head. I believe that came with 3 extra heads. And one of the heads is actually a regular pale skin tone. It's not a green skin tone with that one. So we're getting different. Maybe it's like a hybrid, human orc. I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. I did actually use one of those. So that's something to point out with the female orc figures in this wave. It's pretty nicely done. I definitely would like to get some more orcs, to be honest with you. It says in her bio that the orc army is one of the largest armies. So they definitely have the numbers over a lot of other armies. But look at this beautiful head sculpt here. Let me just adjust my lighting really quick so you guys can see. Her head sculpt is absolutely gorgeous in that very evil, maniacal way. The teeth are pretty well done as far as the sculpt and the paint go. I really like the little braids that she's got on the sides right here. I think it's a really nice touch. And then I think the crown jewel here is the crown. Is her skull crown. Look how cool that looks. With the nice black paint shading going throughout the eyes right there. I think that looks really well done. There's actually some black paint shading going throughout the entire skull crown here. Looks really good. I'd really be interested in finding out if this is just... It obviously doesn't look like a human head. It looks like some sort of larger skull, because this definitely cannot be a human head. Let me get that sword out of her hand so we're not getting things in the way. And look at the lower mandible jaw right there. Holy Toledo, that is something else right there. So I'd be interested in finding out what other kind of species that crown came from. But on the back here, we've got some nice dry brushing going throughout the hair. Looks really good, very consistent, and gives off that illusion that the back piece is kind of, being pulled, her hair's being pulled through the crown. Looks really good. Okay, as far as Urkzaa's accessories do go, she does include a belt, which I actually have on the figure, so that's one accessory. She does come with 3 back adapters, so that's 4 right there, and then an additional 3 right here, which makes 7 total technically. We've got the spear right here, which we've seen before, and I think it looks really good. It's got a nice, almost like a rusty dry brushing going throughout. I just want to bring that in so you guys can see that, or so you all can see that. Really good job on the dry brushing going throughout the charcoal gray plastic that we've got underneath. And it is pretty spread out throughout the entire spear here. Looks really good. Next up we have the sword, which is a nice charcoal gray right here for the blade. And then we've got some nice paint work for the handle and the rest of the portion. It's got some black paint shading going throughout the rest of the handle. Looks really good. A little silver paint for the centerpiece design right here, and then some gold. Looks pretty good, and I think it fits the character well. Okay, and then we have the, what I want to say is the coup de grace of the figure. It's the bone sword. We've seen all of these weapons before, but I really do like this bone sword a lot. I think as far as fitting the orcs, I think it works perfectly. And really pleased with how these, they always get the bone detail to come out with some black paint shading going throughout the little crevices that we've got in the center of this bone sword. And then how the bone sword is actually like almost like a spinal column, the bottom of a spinal column. It looks like that's a tailbone right there. So really good job on that. I'm almost curious as to what they fashioned this sword from, what kind of animal, something like that. But it looks really cool. We've got a bunch of clustering right here of bone right there. It looks like this was some sort of animal's spinal column that was maybe sharpened and used for war purposes. Maybe it's a denser bone for cutting. But it looks really cool nonetheless. I'm very pleased with how this turned out. Okay, as far as Queen Urkzaa's articulation does go, her head can swivel at a full 360 rotation if you needed to. Her head can look up. Really good range of motion looking up. Really good range of motion looking down. Her head can tilt side to side. Let's see if we got job turkeys. No job turkeys. No turkey at all. But her head can tilt side to side. Obviously, I showed that. The arms go up about that far. Down. Full 360 rotation at the arm. A single bend at the elbow, which is about 90 degrees. A swivel at the elbow. Swivel at the gauntlet, swivel at the wrist. She does have a hinge joint, which goes forward and back, and it does mirror the same on the other side. She does have the upper diaphragm joint, which does pivot side to side, can crunch back, good crunch back, really good crunch forward, and then she does have that pivot side to side and the swivel. She also has a swivel at the waist, and she can do the splits about that far, so she's very limber. And then she does have that nice hidden upper thigh joint. So upper thigh swivel and a single jointed knee. And then we have a swivel at the knee. Swivel at the ankle. She does point the heel. And it's a nice ratchet, actually, with her. Very nicely done. And then we've got to point the toe right there. And then we have ankle pivot. And then 2 peg holes at the bottom of her feet. Okay, so going back to her sculpt and paint work really quick, I just kind of wanted to dive a little bit more into this as far as detail goes. I did kind of go over the head a little bit, so we'll just go through the rest of the body here. She is, like I said, a little bit more on the nude style body. I think it looks really good, though. Fits the character well. She's got some, like I pointed out earlier, some black paint shading going throughout the everywhere where there's exposed skin, including the face sculpt as well. I like this little almost Klingon-esque little nose protrusion right there. It's very nicely done. I like the little belly button hole. That's pretty cool. A little belly button right there. Pretty well done. And the black paint shading actually brings out the belly button. Looks very good. The fingernails are painted, and they're painted well. I don't really have any paint slop on her at all. I think she's a really high-quality painted figure. And definitely a big step up from some of the other quality control issues that we've seen with some other figures in this wave. I think she's pretty top-notch as far as all of the paint shading going throughout her charcoal gray armor, as far as that's concerned. The toes look really good. The toes are painted nicely. No, like I said, no slop or anything like that. Everything is pretty consistent going throughout. No issues there. On the bottom of the feet, they're just pretty much the regular green color. All the paint shading on the feet are on the top of the feet and not the bottom. And then on the back, like I said, she's got some cheekage right there. And then we've got the armor pieces. Mine's a little bit warped. It's not a big deal, to be honest with you. If you play around with this long enough, it'll just kind of form outward like it's supposed to. So really good job on sculpt and paint detail on her. Everything, like I said, is pretty consistent. She doesn't have any issues. I don't have any concerns with quality control as far as longevity goes with her. Okay, as far as size comparisons go, we've got 2 female Marvel Legends here. On the left, we've got the new Marvel Legends X-Men Apocalypse Build-A-Figure Wave Psylocke. On the right, we've got Valkyrie from Marvel Legends. Okay, up next, we have 2 male Marvel Legends. On the left, we've got the Thunderbolts box set. Luke Cage, he is on the Hyperion body mold. On the right, we have Multiple Man on the Bucky Cat body mold. Okay, up next, we've got the WWE Elite action figure in Shawn Michaels on the left. And on the right, we've got the DC Universe Classics Hawkman. Okay, and finally, we've got a Motu Classics in Vicor on the left, and on the right, we've got Sir Gideon Heavens brand. Next up, we've got the Mythic Legions packaging here. It's the single card packaging with Mythic Legions logo on the bottom. We've got the 4 Horsemen logo on the upper right. On the left, we've got the mythiclegions.com, sourcehorseman.com, and storehorseman.com. Flipping it around to the back, we've got some nice card artwork, which is featured on the inside first page of the Mythic Legions issue number 1 comic book. On the side of the packaging, we have the clan logo. On the other side, we have a picture of Queen Urkzaa. And there is her read-up. If you want to pause it and read it, you can. Okay, so my final thoughts and my final verdict for Queen Urkzaa is it's going to be 2 thumbs up here. I think she's a home run, to be honest with you. She looks really cool. She's unique in having bare feet, for one. Having a beautiful head sculpt, being very consistent throughout, not having any quality control issues. Love that head sculpt. Can't get enough of that head sculpt. It just looks so well done with the lime green eyes, with the black going around the eye, as you can see right there. And then the ears. I love the skin tone for her and the black paint shading where it's necessary. It's not overdone where a lot of other figures overdo black paint shading. It's really just, it's done sparingly and it's done properly. I really like the sculpt of her overall. I love that she's got this just badass looking orc queen feel to her. I almost want to start rooting for her, you know. I mean, she's just looking out for the betterment of her people, and she's looking out for the safety of her people too. So I'm very interested in learning more about this character down the line. I like the overall design for her. I think everything works. Like I said, everything on her as far as consistency goes is there. You don't have any issues with that. I like the selection of the weapon. I think overall the bone sword looks good. The orc style sword right here looks really well done. Everything is painted nicely. Everything's got paint apps as far as that goes. She was definitely shown more love than maybe people are maybe noticing with her. I haven't heard a whole lot of hype behind her. Maybe she's kind of an unsung hero of the wave. But I think she's definitely going to have an important role, and it might be one of those characters that you want to pick up. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a full recommend. And let me know what you guys think of Queen Urkzaa down below in the comments. The more comments you leave, the more support you can show. Hit that thumbs up if you like the content and you want to see more. Hit that subscribe button if you want to join the crew. And be sure to hit the bell for notifications until you see two little parentheses hanging over the bell. That way you know you get all notifications. And that's pretty much it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. You guys have yourself a great day, and I'll see you on the flip side.